Good evening, folks. Hope everybody's doing good tonight. We'll get started here in just a few minutes. Got a exciting show coming up ahead of us tonight. Got Bill, KK4PAL's in the house talking about battery boxes. And you know, guys, I have seen his work firsthand, and pretty phenomenal stuff. The best 2 hours in amateur radio YouTube is coming up right here on HamShackTV. Go ahead and get this link shared out with as many of your ham radio buddies as you can. Let's get some folks in here watching us tonight. Stick around. We'll start up here in just a few minutes. Helps to unmute. AW watching, good evening, everybody. I see several folks in the chat. Let's do some things here. Let's get this thing ready to fire up. Appreciate everybody coming in tonight. We'll drop the music and we'll start the countdown. Hi. I feel like it's been a long time since we've done a show. We've been off a couple of weeks. Last week we gave our time slot over to Ham Radio 2.0 so that he could do his Let's Make a Deal with Gigaparts, and love those fellas at Gigaparts. Are great guys down there. Have a deal with Gigaparts now. We get double rewards points if you use my coupon code HamShackTV at checkout. So go check out gigaparts.com, and you can do it in store too. Let's see who's all in the chat here. We've got Hellbilly Ham. He's out waiting in the waiting room here. Brandon's in the house. KQ4PMD's here. Howdy, everyone. Kenny's in the house. Good evening from Victor Echo 3 Delta Alpha Charlie. Matt here in Ontario, Canada. Good to see we're breaking borders here. We're international tonight, y'all. Let's see here. We've got John Bubblets, AA4OL's checking in. And got to send a special shout out to John. So far, John is the only one that has given to the GoFundMe for the camper repair fund. So we certainly appreciate John for his support in that. And he's been working on some things behind the scenes with me that maybe we can try to raise a few more bucks. Gary Graham's in the house. Hey, all. And Chris. Chris is in the house. Morning. Chris, I thought you were local. Or at least you are, unless you're away right now. But anyway, good morning to you anyway, Chris. I guess it's technically morning if you follow UTC time. Pepe's in the house. We still are international. Good evening, Pepe. Good to see you, buddy. Kenny the Dragon in the house. Good to see him. And Tony Boring, W2D Tango Delta Bravo is in the house. Chris says he's third shift. Now it makes sense why you say good morning. Great. Let's bring in our panelists tonight. Got a little short. Hopefully we'll have a few guys join us here. But Hillbilly Ham's in the house. There's Dave. Good evening, Dave. You're muted, bud.
I saw that. Mouse couldn't get over there fast enough.
What's up? And then back with us here, Marvin. I think it's been a little bit since I've seen you. Good to see you, buddy.
Yeah, well, I was with you 2 weeks ago.
Were you? It's hard to. I knew you came in when I did the impromptu on Wednesday night.
Yep.
But I couldn't remember if you'd been back on a roundtable in a while.
I think you're right. I think it was just that impromptu, not the 2 weeks ago. Yeah.
Yep.
If you notice, he's back in his shack. He's back in his studio.
He is back in the. We don't have a virtual background tonight. Very nice.
Do not, no.
Very nice.
Well, just like kitchen cupboards and refrigerator, and nobody wants to see all that.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, and we've got our special guest back in the waiting room. Guys, I do not have a super chat goal in place tonight. And reason for that is, I'm really focusing on trying to straighten out this camper situation, if I'm being completely transparent on it. So any super chats that are given tonight, that will go towards the camper restoration effort. We certainly appreciate any support on that. I tell you guys, both of you that are already here, I don't know if I've said it to you guys, but we are now double what I paid for the camper as far as repairs go. I gave $2,200 for the camper, and I've spent probably right at $2,000. So in repair costs and stuff like that. So you live and learn, I guess. But anyway, that's the reason we're going with that tonight, guys. Again, no super chat goal, but we will play the clip. We'll do all the cool stuff that you like, and we appreciate all the support. Shannon's in the house here. KC1OHT, good evening, Ham Radio Prep. Peeps, we like Ham Radio Prep too. Peeps is what I meant to say.
Good evening, Shannon.
All right, let's bring in Bill here. Hey, Bill.
Hey, Josh, how's it going? Marvin, Dave, glad to see y'all in here tonight.
Good. Doing well.
Good to have you with us tonight. And I know that these battery boxes, and I've seen them firsthand myself at the East Tennessee Ham Fest a couple weeks ago. And if you watched that video, guys, you would have seen them too, because I featured it in the video. But these battery boxes are all the hot topic right now, especially with more and more people getting into POTA and emergency comms and things like that. It's pretty exciting stuff, and you've kind of honed in your skills with these battery boxes, and you're making them and selling them and all that kind of stuff. So kind of get into all that. Let everybody know what you're up to.
Well, what happened, I've been building battery boxes for a long time. I've kind of perfected how they need to be built, what you need in them, and what you want to do with them, and got it figured out in a good way. You know, I tried making them out of ammo cans. I don't like the ammo cans. They're a little bit too flimsy, and you never want to use a metal can with a battery in it. That's just no. You can have too many problems. So a few weeks ago, at the August meeting for my local radio club, I gave a demonstration of battery boxes, and I actually sat there and built one. I showed everybody exactly what to do and how to build one. Well, next thing I know, everybody in this world's wanting to buy one. They don't want to build it. They want to buy it from me already built. So that's what I ended up doing, was building battery boxes. And it took off, and you were at the Dan Ridge Ham Fest with me. You saw the battery boxes. And there's a local net on 145-230 every morning from 6 to 8. They're called the Breakfast Bunch. Well, I know the guys that run that net and both net controllers. And I told them, I said, guys, they had a HT donated that they gave away, and they got more check-ins that way. I said, guys, here's what I'll do. I'll donate a battery box. Well, one of that net controllers decided he'd buy a 20 amp hour battery for it. And the other net controller decided he would put in donate an inverter to go with it. And also, if you ever have a battery box, don't put the inverter on the inside, put it on the outside. Inverters make heat. Heat kills batteries. And Josh just posted a link in the chat to my website. If you want to go over there and look, there's information on the Spooktacular giveaway. which is the 145 230 repeater, the breakfast bunch. And then also I've got pictures of different battery boxes and information up there. But if you have questions, just holler out, put it in chat. We'll try to answer them. And I've got a couple of battery boxes to show y'all. Josh, are you ready for this?
Yeah, we can get into that here in just a second. Let me hit Shannon here. Shannon's already talking about the battery boxes here. I want to build a battery box for my 100 amp hour battery so I can have some USB ports on there, keep my phone charged. Maybe charge up the Jankopotamus. What's a Jankopotamus?
It's the evolved laptop. Come on, Josh. You've not seen that evolved laptop that KM4ACK, HRCC, a lot of them have talked about it. Yeah.
Yeah. Unfortunately, with all the channels I watch, I guess this is something that I've missed. But okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Chris says, it's really not that hard, but you always can buy. And that's one of the things that I try to do here on HamShackTV is I'm not a tinkerer. You're not going to see me with a video of me with a radio opened up or something like that. a lot of people call them appliance users. Some call them utility users. I buy something for it to work. Good grief, where's that coming from? That was coming from Bill.
You got a bear behind you, Bill?
Let's try it again.
No, I don't know. I don't know what it was. I mean, here I'm sitting outside the RV under the awning, and it's liable to be anything. No, we don't have a bear going, but I'm just sitting here still. It's actually the dog down the street finally quit barking.
He knew we were on the air, quiet on the set. So. Well, anyway, yeah. Go ahead.
To answer the question Chris had, if you build a battery box or get one, make sure that the USB ports are in it. All my boxes have PD ports, 85 watts, by the way. I put a big enough one in there. You can charge your iPhone from about 20% to 100 in less than 30 minutes on these boxes.
Wow.
Because it's PD ports. I got a C and an A in there. So you can use either one, depending on what you need. The smallest box is not quite as fancy as the bigger boxes. And if you want something with a 100 amp hour battery, a full size battery in it, I build those in Milwaukee pack out. But the thing of it is, I went through, I know what works in them, what's proper for it, what's going to meet the standards it needs for the electrical side of it, and, which things to buy for it. I fixed 2 or 3 battery boxes that people owned that asked me to do some repairs on them. Well, one guy had a switch in there, and guess what? The switch couldn't handle what he had in it. He had a 100 amp battery box with a switch that was only good up for 30 amps. And it burned that switch slap up. It melted it in the side of the case. So not only did I have to take the switch out, I had to take the Dremel and get it out. It was that bad. But knowing what to put in them and how to get it in there, how to get the wires connected up so nothing can short, nothing can be crossed up in polarity. Because the first thing you don't want to do is have a battery box with the polarity reversed on your power poles on the outside of it if you got power poles on it.
Right.
So, that's the only difference in it. And I agree. If somebody wants to build a battery box and they need help, they can get in touch with me. I'll be glad to help them build their own battery box. Matter of fact, there at Danridge, a gentleman brought his battery in his box, and we sat right there and built it during the Ham Fest.
That's great.
Someone's just having the right tools and stuff too, because most of those fittings that go in there, aren't they about 1 1/8 inches, I want to say, drill bit?
Yeah, they're 1 1/8 inches, and have a proper hole saw that'll do it. People use step bits. Step bits are fine, but the only problem is you waller out one side or the other. You're going to waller it out a little bit. But I found a 1 1/8 inches, and it's got the automatic ejection where it kicks out whatever you cut. I made the hole. Like I drilled a hole in the side of one of these cases. It kicks that piece of plastic out, so I don't have to sit there and fight with it.
Right.
And, it makes it a whole lot easier. But the holes are smooth, easy, and clean. That way, the fittings tighten up good. the fittings I have for power poles, I don't buy fittings off the open market. I have a gentleman that custom makes with 3D printing all my stuff that I have printed and use. And he makes everything for me. And it's custom made for me the way I want it and the quality that the customers want. He makes stuff. You can buy anything. I tell people, if you're going to buy a power pole connector, buy it from a guy at a Hamfest because he's making a few bucks and he's a local guy. You know, try to help him out. You can order them off Amazon. I've seen what Amazon has. The ones that they have on there, most of the time, they're not genuine Anderson power poles. They're crap, to put it bluntly. And, you know, if you're going to build a box, you need to build quality. And like Josh says, he's seen them. He knows what's in them.
Yeah, they're phenomenal. And it's interesting, and I'll come around to you here in just a second, Dave. You were talking about the cell phone chargers and how fast that they could charge. I think there's a lot of people, including myself, I have a general idea of how these cell phone chargers work, but I think there's a lot of folks that don't understand. You know, there are chargers out there that can take an iPhone from nothing to full in 30 minutes or so, but it all depends on the cable, and it depends on the I call it the nipple, but the thing that you plug in the wall wart. So it's fascinating, but again, I think there's a lot of people out there that don't have an understanding of how it works. Go ahead, Dave. What'd you have?
Well, like he was touching on the charging phones and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I recommend getting a minimum 65 watt PD port for your USB, because 65 watts will charge any laptop you've got out there. But I would not go below 65 watts.
That's why I put 85 watts in here. Guess what? It'll charge a laptop. It'll charge your cell phone.
Yep.
And PD stands for power delivery, in case somebody doesn't understand that or know about it. It stands for power delivery. The larger the number, the better your power delivery. And you can find, the biggest you're going to find on USB-A and USB-C is 85 watts PD. And that's what I've got in these. And I could use something smaller, something that's 50 watt PD or something. You wouldn't complain about it, but it's not going to charge your phone as fast. It's not going to be as good.
Right.
I'm one of these folks, if I'm doing something, I want the best bang for my buck. I want top quality. I bought once and cried 10 times because I had to buy 3 more times, and I don't want to do that. I make battery boxes and put batteries in them if somebody wants a specific battery. I build battery boxes, and I call them BYOB. Not bring your own bottle or bring your own booze. It's bring your own battery. Because a lot of people have batteries already. Hey, I got all the other parts. Usually if you order this stuff, you've got to order in quantities to get something good. And you know, what are you going to do with 10 USB PD connectors?
Right.
You know, you're going to put one in a battery box and the other 9's going to get thrown in a drawer somewhere and eventually lost.
Mm-hmm.
No, actually, it'd make me build 9 more battery boxes.
That works too.
That's why Josh has me and Marvin on the stream, is because we're the tinkerers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there's definitely 2 facets to our hobby. There are the utility appliance users like myself, and then there are the people that they'll open something that damn the warranty. They'll just open it up and just to look at it, you know, let alone get in there and start removing resistors and Mars mods and who knows what all. But we try to cater to both. You know, I really like to focused more towards entry level hams that don't have that experience. But you know, we like to cater to everybody here. Kenny the Dragon says, I want a battery box with an XT60 connector to tie in the battery for expansion.
That can be done. Yeah. I mean, you can put any kind of connectors you want in there. You know, it's just, I had a gentleman come to me. He says, I want a 100 amp hour battery box. Can you build me one? Here's what I want to do with it. Well, he took that Milwaukee pack out box. I built him a 100 amp box. And then he came back. He says, I want to do a couple other things. Well, on these Milwaukee pack out boxes, there's a hole for a lock there where you can lock it shut.
Yep.
We took that hole and drilled it out, put a stud in there. The antenna cable wire runs down, and we've got a female SO239 on it. It was like an 8-inch piece of wire, coax. And we put that stud on there, and he's got a 17-foot antenna. He can take that box out in the field, set it down, screw a piece of coax to that female connector to his radio, put a 17-foot whip in there, put his tuner on there, and he can work all the bands that he wants to work right there off that battery box.
Wow.
And it's RF quiet.
The only thing I Shannon mentioned a few minutes ago, she wants to build a 100-watt or 100 amp hour battery box. And my thing is, I'm curious, the question I want to ask back here is, when people start building those boxes and they start getting that big, obviously your weight of your battery has to go quite far. So maybe you're just wanting to put in the back of your vehicle, in your trunk, or in the back of your truck or something, and you just want to leave it there, and that's where you're going to have it. And you're just going to basically plug in your radio through some power poles and make it work. And that's probably just fine. But it's not, and maybe it's something you just want to use for field day. But I'm not sure I really want to go out carrying it and, put it, call it, let's say 50 yards or 100 yards or something across the park to go find a picnic table or sit down somewhere to be able to, to plug in and use that for my POTA activation. And
build them in the 100 amp. Build them with the 100 amp mini batteries, Marvin. It's not as bad. You build it in a Apache 3800 case. It's not like your regular 100 amp hour batteries. Yeah, it's still not something that you want to. Now, 50 yards to a table, I don't have a problem with that.
There behind me,
but I'm not hiking in. See, the minis are smaller than some of the most of what you look at for a 100 amp hour battery.
Well, you can see the one sitting right here behind me, right here, the blue and red one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Let me get rid of the banner there, and they can see it there. Yeah, there it is.
I've got a battery sitting right there for me, and that thing's huge, and it's heavy. So
see, in the 100 amp hour minis, the life pose aren't nowhere near that size.
Okay, gotcha.
So I would not think of an Apache 3800 case, Pelican, the same size Pelican case. You got a 3800 case, Bill? With you just got the 1800.
I don't have one out here in front of me, but I do have some. But I just didn't. I don't have it here. I've got some in storage. I had one in my truck till yesterday, and guess what? Somebody bought it.
Marvin,
the 3800 case.
Yeah.
You can put a 100 amp hour mini battery in a 3800 Apache case.
Yeah, you can, because that's what I'm building next weekend at Chattanooga Hamfest. Radio Technologies. He's a Red Auto dealer. He's bringing me a 100 amp mini battery to put in a box that I'm building for myself. Now, you talk about weight. That 100 amp battery, full size, we put in that pack out. When it's all said and done, put it on a scale. 27.2 pounds.
Okay.
Yeah, but like that battery that he showed back there, I understand with Marvin. I'm not even going to carry that 50 yards to a table. Now build them with the minis in a box, in a 3800 box. I'll carry those. It's not one that I'm going to carry on a hike real long.
So, he wanted this for emergency backup. He's got 2 portable refrigerators in case the power goes out that he can plug into his inverter that hooks to the battery box. It's actually wired to, and it sits on the outside. And he's got an inverter hooked to it and all that. This is not for use portable for him. He's going to use this around his house. And so it's not a problem. This gentleman is 71 years old and can pick it up without a problem.
Yeah. Shannon says a 100 amp hour LiFePo battery isn't that heavy. And let's be real, most hams aren't hiking that far from the car to the picnic table. That's a good point, Shannon.
That's a good point. No, it's true. I guess I put a little bit of distance in there just to, it's like, you're not going to go far with that battery is what I guess I was trying to say. But yeah.
Now we are talking about a POTA activation there. The difference in what Shannon may be talking about would be a SOTA activation. You're going to do some hiking with SOTA typically.
For most of them, yes. And I would not take a 3800 amp hour, 100 amp hour portable case in a 3800 Apache case on a SOTA hike. Not happening. But I'm not taking a radio that I need that big of a battery.
Hey, Josh, let me show you something here.
Yeah, please.
This is the 8 box. I'm gonna open this one up. This is the bring your own battery box right here. I have one of these right now with a 16 amp hour battery in it. It weighs 7 pounds. With a 16 amp hour battery, you can carry that. It's, no more heavier than the rest of your gear you're carrying. It's got an off on switch. It's got the power pole ports and the USB ports. I know it's a little hard to see, but this is all you need to carry on a POTA or SOTA right here.
Mm-hmm.
That'll do the job. And you can put a 10 amp hour battery and make it even lighter. And usually if you're doing POTA or SOTA, you're not running a 100-watt radio. And even if you're running a 100-watt radio, if you got a 16 amp hour battery, would you be on out of?
Yeah, you're starting to jump in and out there a little bit, Bill. Yeah, it's pretty rough.
Dave's muted.
Yeah. Hey, Bill, drop out and come back in. Let's see if that solves the connection.
Yeah, he was talking about SOTA. The biggest radio I'm going to take is probably my 6200, and probably going to take something even smaller than that. So even that battery box that he's got there, I'm going to have something like a little Denko battery.
I mean, let's be real. Probably for a SOTA thing, you're the biggest radio you're probably going to take is a 705 or an FTX1 at the biggest.
Mm-hmm.
Let's try that, Bill. See if that's any better.
All right, let's see if that'll work better.
Yeah, that's better.
Much better. I've got the Apache 2800 case here.
Yeah,
and
it's the next size up from that.
Yeah. And so I've got a couple of different connectors here with the switch and everything. And then the simple inside is the 20 amp hour battery in there. And it's not much inside for parts, or just a little bit of the wiring, and that's it. But that's just enough to protect the battery. But it's the 2800 is 2800 is still plenty. I don't know. It's just enough to go on a POTA activation in a park somewhere, and works out pretty good from that standpoint. But I've always found 20 amp hour will get me 4 to 5 hours easy on any most of my POTA activations. So,
all right, Marvin. Here's the very same box, the 2800 box. As you see, I have the USB up here at the top. I have the power poles here, and on the end, we've got your meter to show your battery level, plus your off-on switch. And inside, it's pretty much the same way. I have the connectors where the red and black wires come, and if you notice, these say Wago on the back of them. These are not cheap connectors.
No, those are good connectors. I was going to say, those are Wagos, aren't they?
Yeah.
And there it goes again.
Maybe he'll come back here in a minute. So,
Bill, I'm wondering if it's your headset at this point. Can you just go directly out of the computer? You'll probably have to go down into StreamYard into the settings and change your mic source.
Yeah, it might be a low battery or something going on.
It might be.
Well, and that's strange because he said he's using aftershocks, and that's what I use with my phone and stuff. I never have a problem with it.
All right, Josh, that better?
Night and day.
Oh, let me jump out and back.
Well.
Okay. I guess he couldn't hear us.
Yeah.
Not.
Pepe says SOTA uses G90. That's a great radio for SOTA. Kenny, his SOTA setup is 2 meter 70 centimeter on a 10 watt handheld. So you're using Simplex 5.2. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Nope. UV5 or UV5RM for 10 watts. Use the FT70D for Yaesu System Fusion. And Shannon says weird because his video's okay. Yeah, that's it. That's why I'm suspecting it was that headset.
I can't hear y'all.
You probably have to change the speaker. He can't hear what I'm saying. Let me try this. I'm writing him in the private chat.
I had to go out and go back in and put the headset back on. I can't hear you without it.
Okay, it's probably your speaker source, but the audio if you're back on the headset, the audio sounds a lot better now.
It's my internet here with only 2 bars on T-Mobile, home internet. It goes in and out some.
Yeah, but your video was fine. That's why that doesn't make sense. Your video's not dropped once.
I can't tell you. That's the only thing it can be. If the wind blows wrong, I lose internet here.
Nah. Yeah.
If you live on top of a mountain in an RV park in the middle of nowhere, you know, they don't even have cable internet out here. I can't get anything else.
Yeah.
But I'm fixing to go to Starlink, so maybe that.
I was fixing to say, you need to get you some Starlink. That'll solve all your problems.
I've got it coming. It's on the way.
Did you order a Starlink Mini?
No, I did not order one, but I have a gentleman that lives out here in the park that uses a Starlink Mini, and he's got a Starlink Gen 3 at his house, and he's going to bring it to me. He says, you can have it.
There you go.
Oh. Can't go wrong with that.
No, you can't go wrong with that. I'm willing to wait. He's a traveling nurse that works cardiac, and he's here on a travel, and he'll be here through December to the first of the year. And he was going home this week, and so when he comes back to be back to work on Monday, I'll have it here.
Nice. Yeah, I love my Starlink. It's nice to have. I currently now I just use it as a backup, but it is nice when I had it full time as a service too. So
I don't have any intention of buying Starlink at the moment, just because I don't have a good use for it. But I'll tell you this: down there at Huntsville and Monte Sano, everybody up there had Starlink.
But the problem is, I heard at Montesano was the tree coverage is so thick that it's really hard to get coverage out. So I don't know.
Yeah, I heard that about years past, but it seems like this year. I know. Vaughn and Julie had theirs up and it was working good.
Okay.
Jason had his up and it was working good, and I think maybe YVY Joe Brett. I think his was working good too.
Well, you know, they just about the time Monsanto came on this year down in Huntsville, Starlink had made some changes to their setups, and instead of locking in on 1 or 2 satellites, it's scanning and getting it from different angles and compiling it all together with an update they had. And if you had that update on yours, trees and things are not as big a deal as they used to be with it.
Interesting. Okay.
Well, the more sources, the better, if you ask me. That's just common sense there.
Yeah, like I said, at my remote site, I run fiber as my primary, but now I've got, because Starlink changed I know we're not talking about Starlink tonight, but unfortunately they changed their plan services, and you could pause your service for the long time, and they changed it where now you have to do like a standby mode, and it's $5 a month. So I'm just using it as a backup. So my fiber's gone down twice because of some stupid, technical issue. So I was like, well, I've got a backup running all the time if I need it. So, which is cool. So they keep powered up and running there on the back end, which is good. So it's a good purpose for that. And I've got clear view of the sky, and it's been great to use so far. So I can't complain. So.
Absolutely. Pepe says, in regards to SOTA, it's not just a question of weight, but also size.
Yep.
All the equipment has to fit in my mountain backpack. The walk to the summit takes an hour or more. And absolutely, you were correct on that, Pepe, for sure.
That's why Josh, Ham Radio Crash Course, has that 1 pound POTA challenge.
Mm-hmm.
SOTA challenge.
Absolutely.
I'd never make it.
Me neither. Nope.
The battery boxes are for people. You have to think of what you're going to use it for.
Right.
Yeah, if you're going to build one that's 100 amp hour, things like that, that's for emergency backup at home. The gentleman I built that one for here the other week, he had looked at some of these pre-made ones from companies that have 110 power and everything else. And when he looked at the cost of them versus the cost of us building one, it was a no-brainer.
Sure.
It was absolutely a no-brainer for him, because it was less than 1/3 of the cost, even with him buying the inverter. And so he bought a 1,500 watt inverter. He's got 2 of the coolers that are mini fridges that run off 110, basically. and he uses one for a freezer and one for a refrigerator. He was up there 2 years ago in January when we had the big snow and ice up here, and he didn't have power for 2 weeks. And he can now take this one, plug a solar panel. He's got a couple of them. Plug them in to charge it, and just let it sit there and run those refrigerator and freezer, you know. And he's got some kind of emergency backup. That's what he wanted it for. And then the little small boxes, the 1800s that I tell people, you know, put a 7, a 10 amp battery and all that. If you're running G90, you can go out and do POTA all day on a 10 amp hour battery.
Oh, for sure.
It's not going to eat it up.
On your battery boxes, when you're saying you're connecting a solar, are you connecting that to a power pole, or are you using like the solar connectors?
I can put either kind in. What I do is I put a separate port on it for input if somebody wants an input like that. And a lot of people say, no, I don't need that because I'm just going to hook my LiPo4 charger to it. I'll open it up and hook it to it. But I can put an input port, and usually what I do, instead of red and black, I use yellow and black because that's the colors for solar.
Yep.
If it's power poles. Or I can put any kind of connector you want in there. Just let me know what you want, and I can put it in there. That's the thing about it. I can buy it and find it. I've got pretty good source for parts and everything, and I'll get whatever somebody wants and put in it.
Yeah, that would be something that'd be really slick to build a big enough box to have that and put the solar panel, and you can plug that in. But now, do you have to worry about the? Oh my gosh, the solar. I want to say the converter, but
the solar charger
controller.
Solar controller.
Yeah.
Yep.
It depends on the panels you have. Some of them have built-in solar controllers in them. This gentleman, he has 200 amp power panels. Both of them have built-in solar controllers in them. I have a small one that I got that I use with my box because the panel I use on my box does not have a solar controller in it. I think it cost me $30. I plug the panel into it, and I plug it. I've got power poles on it. I plug it into my charge port and just going about my business, and it works just fine.
Yep,
absolutely. Let me hit John real quick. A little unrelated, but back on the Starlink thing. John says Elon Musk is bringing out a new cell phone with built-in Starlink. Not sure how he will get satellite-based phone to work inside of a building. That's a good question. But Starlink built into a cell phone would be nice. And I will say this. I'm an iPhone user. I know nothing about Androids. But I will say, and I'm on Verizon, and let me just go ahead and use my platform to say Verizon is trash, people. But when I get into somewhere that's out in the boonies, it's asking me if I want to switch to satellite mode. Right now, that can only be used for phone calls and text, but not data. But I think those days are coming. But John's got a good point. Don't know how it'd work inside the building. Do want to note, I did decide to put a super chat goal in place. I do have some channel memberships that I can give away tonight. So 5 yellow super chats or better. Those are 10 or better. I'll give away those 5 channel memberships. So again, also all super chats tonight do go towards the camper restoration project.
Well, he brought up about that cell phone with Starlink.
Yeah,
he's already Elon's already got a deal worked out with T-Mobile.
Does he?
Oh yeah, a T-Mobile phone, any of the phones, as long as you're on T-Mobile, you lose cell service and you can use satellite service.
That's outstanding.
I can vouch for that because I have a T-Mobile phone, and I can get in the middle of nowhere in some of these hollers in Kentucky where I got to go to work. I still got phone service now.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it does work. And the way it's going to work on the phones that do Starlink, if it can hit a satellite, it's going to go through the satellite because that's cheaper for Elon. If it doesn't hit a satellite, they'll hit a T-Mobile tower. That's how he's going to do it.
Yeah, he's made an exclusive deal with T-Mobile.
John says Elon's phone is approximately $785. He says Apple should be very worried. I don't know about that. Apple has a death grip on the cell phone market as well as Google at this point. Or Samsung, Google, all them guys.
The Android app's Google, but really the 2 phones that have the death grip on the cell phone market are Apple and Samsung. those are the two phones that everybody wants. But Samsung is starting to drop their prices and selling their phones unlocked. So they're taking a step above Apple on that.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Kenny says, interestingly, voice calling on a cell phone can still pass modem signals in the audio range. So although technically it's a voice call, it could be used for limited data in theory. Yeah, I suppose that's right. Yeah. Anyway, back to battery boxes.
Yeah, we're getting lost on Star. This is not Clubhouse, as you say.
You know what? Just for the hell of it, one week I'm going to invite the Clubhouse guys just to take my time slot, but they're going to have to do it right here on this channel. And then we'll go over to their channel for a week.
Change places.
Hey, Josh Beamer wanted me to apologize. He couldn't be here tonight. I know he's hosting my YouTube channel, KK4PAL Ham Radio Unleashed, and he also hosts my Facebook page for KK4PAL Ham Radio Unleashed. But he's in there on the radio doing DX to France trying to talk to a poodle.
You choked me on that one.
Well, that little AI video I made of him talking on a ham radio has went friggin' ballistic out on the internet. Everybody loves it. And AI decided that Beamer was the host of the YouTube channel and the host of the web page, and I just went along with it. But he's in there either on the radio or taking a power nap in the recliner, one of the two.
Yeah. Pepe says Elon talk is only marketing talk. Let's wait what effectively comes on the market. Yeah, I agree. He does talk a lot. We know that. I mean, my God, the guy for years and years said Dogecoin was going to go to the moon, and it ain't done nothing but bankrupt me. So, anyway, so was that the two battery boxes you wanted to show, or did you got anything else you wanted to show us?
That's the only two I've got right here, right now. I had a 3800 box I was going to show you and have it out here. And I stopped and I was talking with someone, and they saw the antennas on my truck and they asked me about ham radio. They did ham radio and everything else. And he said, "What's that on your back seat?" I said, "Those are battery boxes I make." And he says, "Let's see them." So I pulled out the small one, the medium, and the big one, and laid them on the cover on the back of my truck, which used to be your cover. And
yeah, that's right.
Showed them to him, and he ended up, "I want that big one." He said, "I've got a battery that'll fit that. I've got a 50 amp hour battery, and I know what'll fit in there." He says, "I want it. How much is it?" And he ended up buying it right there on the spot. So I've got some more, but they're not made up, and they're in my storage because living in an RV, you have limited space.
Right.
So they're in the storage, and I just don't have one with me. And I planned on having one with me, but I got in yesterday evening and had too much stuff going on to be able to go down there and get one. And today was one of those days. I've been to Chattanooga today, saw 3 clients, went by chat radio and visited our buddy Jim for a little while. Mm-hmm. And by the time I got home and threw this battery in this MacBook and got it working right and everything, it was time to do the live stream.
There's not enough hours in the day anymore. I can attest to that.
Hey, Bill, on your battery boxes, are you putting fuse blocks in them?
No, I am not putting fuse blocks, and I'll tell you why. Because most people, when they put their power poles on their radios, they're already fused. And I've had people, I can put a fuse in it. I can put a fuse box in it if they want it. But in talking to most people, the added cost of putting a fuse box in there is not that much. But they say, my radio's already got fuses and I got power poles on it because the way I plug it up now, I don't need fuses. The USB ports I've got on there have an internal trip in them if it overloads, and it's got a reset on it. So, there's no reason to fuse it right now.
Yeah.
But if somebody wants a fuse on the power poles, I can put them on there. That's not a big deal.
I can understand that, but I guess for me, doing electrical work on vehicles and all that stuff, having another fuse in between that battery and those connections is never going to hurt anything, and all it's going to do is save equipment.
Yeah, I don't disagree with you, but I'm going by what people have asked me for and what they want in them.
Oh, I
So
understand.
that's why I'm building them this way. I can take and come off the battery and fuse it, go into the switch, and that'll fuse everything right there. You know, that'll fuse everything. It'll have one fuse, inline fuse there, that'll take care of everything. I'll put one on the positive and negative side, and everything's fused then. Or if need be, I can go from the power poles back to the Wago connector with a fused line. You know, I could do that. And that would be less expensive than putting a block in there. But, you know, depends on what you're building. Now, if I'm building one that's 100 amp hour, yeah, I'm going to put some kind of fuse block in it. You know, that's a lot more power. And people will tend to maybe overload those a little bit.
Absolutely.
Got a quick question. You talked about your prices of your boxes just a little bit, but you didn't really say, is that just based on like what people, because you build them custom fit for everybody individually? So if they want a USB, a power pole, a switch, and something else, you know, it may be they want 4 ports instead of 3. It's going to be an extra, you know, $20 or something or whatever. So therefore, you can't really.
What I've got on the website is just the basic price of it. You know, I'll talk to somebody if they want to change something out. They say, listen, I want, instead of 2 power pole ports, I want 4. We'll put 4 in there. It'll probably cost them extra $15, you know, because that's about what it cost me for it.
Right.
But this is the box you see there is the one that's for the Spooktacular event. That's my personal box right there with that 20 amp hour battery in it. There's the outside of my personal box that I use. There's a box that's made into the pack out box. This is a box that I actually did at the Ham Fest for a gentleman. He brought his box and his battery, and we put everything in it.
Right, that radio looks familiar.
Yeah, that radio is the FT90.
Yep.
And he bought that FT90 from me at a Ham Fest. And when he needed a battery box, guess who he came to?
Very nice.
He says, listen, I know I can buy the stuff and I can build it. He said, you can do it faster and better with the right stuff than I can do. He said, by the time I get everything in here, it's going to cost me way more than I pay you. And he was right. He was right. But he wanted all 4 of them in a line right there on that front side. And that's what we did.
On that rolling box, what gauge are you using on that meter you using on the front of it?
What gauge? Wire going to
what
the meter?
The power meter. What power meter are you using?
I don't know what brand name it is. Let me look at it and see.
You talking about that one right there?
Yep.
Oh, that one, I don't remember. That box right there is my personal box. I've had that box for 4 years. And I couldn't tell you what meter I used in it. Matter of fact, well, I know where I got the meter. The meter actually came from KM8RD. K8MRD. Mike. He said, I got that meter.
Mike?
Yeah.
Oh,
I got that meter from.
I know which meter it is then.
Yeah.
It's the only meter he uses.
Yeah. And I'm not real happy with that meter, if you want to know the truth. It's a little aggravating. But these are just the basic prices of them. It depends on what you want, how you want them customized. And if you see every one of them, I say, hey, I can get you a battery if you want it. What I do with the batteries, I call M&L Radio Technology, say, Leroy, I need this size battery. Get me one. He gets it for me. Whatever I pay him is what you get it for. I'm not making anything off the batteries because I'm not building anything or doing any work on it. I'm just bolting the battery in.
Those prices are actually really fair. So my club in Murfreesboro, Tennessee, K4 Fun, Stones River, did a battery project build about 2-3 years ago, and about 3 years ago now, I guess. And so we went through and bought all the supplies from like Tower Electronics for all the meters, and we bought all the wiring we needed and all the battery, the like ammo. It was I'll call it people actually kind of selected what type of what they wanted, an Apache case or like the plastic ammo case type style. And then what type of connectors they wanted. So we had them fill out a sheet basically to make a selection of what their boxes are. And we put it all together, made the order. And when it came out, those boxes were minimum $70 to $90 each. So to pay you, a little bit of money for $90 for a small box, that's actually a really fair and good price. So, and I'm sure those parts have went up in price since then. So I can only imagine. So yeah, those are very fair prices for a battery box. And you're compared to other big vendors. Yeah, you go look at, I think it's Tower Electronics that has those metal ammo cans, and what they charge for those, just ridiculous. So.
Yeah, see, and I'm with Bill. I will not put a battery inside a metal can.
Yep.
Well, I've had people ask me about putting inverters in there. I can buy this such and such brand that's got the battery, inverter, and everything built in the box. Well, guess what? If you put an inverter in there, you're going to have heat. You got to vent the heat. You got to put a fan in there to pull the heat out while you're running the battery power down. You've got to take heat is the enemy of a battery. We all know that. Extreme heat or extreme cold is the enemy of a battery. These inverters, these new little inverters, throw off a ton of heat. The whole outside is a heat sink on. You're only damaging your battery. Put them on the outside, folks.
Yeah, it's the Hamo can. That's what a lot of people use, and they put them in those metal cans. Yeah, so I mean, I'm looking at like one of those with a radio, 419. And it's like, holy crap, So
now I've taken a small battery. I've taken a less than 10 amp battery, a 7 or 6 amp battery, put it in one of the small ammo cans, and put a small 25 watt VHF UHF radio in there and made a contained unit like that. And I've sold a bunch of them like that when I've had the radios. I bought out a few estates and ended up with about 6 of the little TYT radios. And they're decent radios, but if you want something you can have sitting in a corner, sitting in the trunk of your car or something with a roll-up antenna, so you got, in case of emergency, you can throw it up and use it. Guess what? That works.
It does.
Absolutely.
These are not, hams like to tinker and build things. That's how I got started in this. I like to build stuff. I got a gentleman that I helped him get his ham license. He went and took his test, got his technician general all in the same day. That man builds more antennas than Carter's got little liver pills. He's probably got 25 antennas in his backyard right now. His thing is building antennas. Mine is not. I don't like to build antennas that well. But when it comes to electrical, I started out in my working career as a electrical contractor, so I've got a good understanding of electrical. I don't use, you see all this zip cord now, and it's copper coated tin wire. No, I don't use that. I use pure copper wire. I don't want you to have, I'm going to build something you're not going to have a problem with. That's my difference in what I'm doing.
That's really good. Yeah. I
don't use off-brand connectors. I use genuine under-fire poles. I use Wago connectors for all my connections there. If you ever have a problem and you need to replace something, guess what? You don't have to unsolder anything. You flip that switch up on that Wago, pull that wire out, change out what you need to change out, and put it back in under there, and you're ready to go.
Yeah, absolutely. I was going to say, Kenny the Dragon said also consider a fan for the battery box. Batteries don't like heat. And then in a cold place, consider a battery blanket you can plug into to warm up the battery before charging. Now, that one's interesting. I've never seen a cold place to consider a battery blanket. That one I'm going to have to look up and research. I've never did that before, never thought about it. But very interesting nonetheless, Kenny. So thanks for sharing with that.
Yeah, now in my RV, I have my LiFo4 battery in the pass-through in the front of my RV. And even though it doesn't get that cold in there, I have a battery blanket on it. And if it gets below 40 degrees, that battery blanket will come on. It's got a thermostat in it.
Interesting.
Yeah, because you don't want to be down at those temperatures. You do not want to be charging a LiFo battery.
Yep.
MR Rice is heading out for the night. It says good night, going to check in the local repeaters nets. And then I told him goon night. Sorry. Good night, MR Rice. Tony is asking if you are adding an inverter, do you have a preferred brand?
I do not have a preferred brand. I usually let folks source their own inverter. on this 3800 box, I'm fixing to put 100 amp mini. I bought some large power poles like you see on a forklift, heavy duty power poles. They are 150 amp power poles. I want to make sure when I plug in that inverter I got a 1,000-watt inverter that I don't have any problems. But this lets me unplug the inverter. I can put some Velcro on the back of it, stick it to the box if I want it on the box. But I'm going to have that on both ends, and I can just plug that inverter right in and be ready to go. But
Wow.
as far as inverters, it's your choice on what you want. And a lot of people already have an inverter, just like a lot of people already have a battery. So, you know, that's why I'm doing on the website you saw on there. If you want a battery, let me know. We'll put you one in there. You know, if you see on the bottom of every one, I'll put your battery in there. You just let me know, because a lot of hams already have a battery. And if I made it where you had to buy a battery, if you bought the battery box, guess how many battery boxes I'm not going to sell?
Right.
You know, and I have been amazed at the response to this. And, you know, Josh, I appreciate you bringing me in tonight, but I have been just totally amazed. I thought, you know, I was taking some of the people in my ham club and teaching them how to build a battery box. No, I ended up getting flooded with orders for battery boxes.
You built a business inadvertently.
I did. And, you know, I'm just trying to make sure that nobody walks off and says, I didn't get something I like, I didn't get something that's not worth the money or whatever. They're getting their money's worth, and they're getting something they're going to like. Josh, you know me for a few years now. You know how particular I am about stuff.
Oh, yeah.
It's going to be right. You know, now scroll back one picture there to that brown battery box you see there.
It's doing its auto thing, so I'll have to keep hitting it.
If you see the red knob on the side, that's one of those heavy duty battery switches. That's overkill in that box. I did not need to put that switch in that box. That switch is coming out and going to be replaced with one of my regular switches. So I can take and use that in the 100 amp hour box with the 100 amp hour mini battery I'm building. I overkilled it with that. You know, that was one of the first boxes I built.
Well, you can see right there. That's the same box, isn't it? That one and the one previous.
Yeah.
So yeah, that right there is where that switch is.
Yeah. And that battery's a 20 amp hour battery, and I'm gonna tell you, I won that battery in a live, and not in a live stream, but in a giveaway. I won that battery, and I put it in that box. I'm a cheap ham too. What can I say?
Aren't we all?
Absolutely.
So,
Kenny, one thing I question, I guess, and maybe Bill, you can answer this question too. Again, I'm not familiar with a cold battery blanket, but I see you can buy them from like AutoZone or, you know, Advanced Auto Parts, things like that. Are they plugging in via 110, or are you charging them via? Is there some there for 12 volt as well?
They have them for both. Mine is actually a 110 that I've got around mine, and I bought it off Amazon. I'll tell you exactly where I got it.
Gotcha. Yeah, I was just kind of interesting. I'd not heard of a battery blanket before. I don't know why. I've just never heard of that, but I hadn't. So I found it kind of interesting when you said that. So,
well, I had a deep cycle battery on the very front on the tongue of the RV, and I actually got the battery blanket for it because I have a charger and system set up in this RV. It was set up for solar, and I have solar panels on it. And if the power went out, it would automatically charge that deep cycle battery out there. And I didn't want it charging deep cycle battery in real cold weather. So I bought it before I even had a LiPo4 battery. And I moved the cables and everything inside the pass-through, put the LiPo4 battery in there, took the deep cycle and the case for it off the front, gave it to my grandson-in-law for his boat, and I've got the LiPo4 in the pass-through. I had room in there to put it, and I just went ahead and stuck the blanket around it.
Interesting.
Yeah, it was easy to do. I had it. I might as well do it.
Very interesting. Kenny says they also have some, if you know where to look, that are for 24 volt. And I seen one that wasn't, that was meant to plug into 220 volts, 50, 60 cycles.
50, 60 cycles.
50, 60 cycles. 50, 60 cycles. 50, 60 cycles. 50, 60 cycles. 50, 60 cycles. 50, 60 cycles. 50, 60 cycles. 50, 60 cycles. 50, 60 cycles. 50, 60 cycles. 50, 60 cycles. 50, 60 cycles. 50, 60 cycles. 50, 60 cycles. 50, 60 cycles. 50, 60 cycles. 50, 60 cycles. 50, 60 cycles. 50, 60 cycles. 50, 60 cycles. 50, 60 cycles. 50, 60 cycles. 50, 60 cycles. 50, 60 cycles. 50, 60 cycles. 50, 60 cycles. 50, 60 cycles. 50, 60 cycles. 50, 60 cycles. 50, 60 cycles. 50, 60 cycles. 50, 60 cycles. 50, 60 cycles. 50, 60 cycles. 50,
Well, living in the RV, that would not be practical for me at 230 volts. I mean, I could plug it into the pedestal out there, but I don't have anything but 12 volts and 110 in my RV. So,
Right.
I don't know many people that have 220
Yeah.
in an RV.
there are some that do. Some of these big self-contained, self-propelled Class A units have 220 in them.
Yeah, because they have washers and dryers in them. I didn't even
Well,
think about that.
You can put a washer and dryer in like a fifth wheeler if it's plumbed and wired for it, and it's not going to be 220. It's going to be 110.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know they made dryers that were 110.
Yes, they do.
Oh, wow.
Interesting.
30 amp 110.
Josh, me and you were just learning all kinds of things tonight.
Hey,
Matter of fact, Josh, the dryer that's in my my wife's closet right now in her laundry room is a 30 amp 110 dryer.
I literally just had to buy a new dryer a couple weeks ago out of the blue. Ours decided the heating element was not going to work anymore, so yep, that was a learning experience for me. Bought the dryer. Didn't know that they don't supply the freaking power cord for them anymore.
Oh,
You
no.
have to buy the power cord separate. I get home from work one day that Lowe's has delivered it while I'm gone to work, and I'm eager to get it set up and everything because we were stacking laundry pretty high at that point. And I'm like, where the hell is the damn plug? I looked everywhere for it. Nope. I had to run out to Patterson's and get one.
Josh, I'll make you cry. If it was just the heating element going out in it, a lot of times there's, it could probably cost you $75 to replace it.
Well,
and you got to remember they have a heat diode in them a lot of times now, and it's just like a hair dryer that people with more hair than you use, and people take a hair dryer and it'll go out. Hey, we used to have tons of people walk into Radio Shack to get one of those diodes that fit in that hair dryer, and they'd replace that diode in there, and it cost them 70 cents to fix a $20 hair dryer.
Wow.
Oh, I know. I have to remind folks, though, I'm not a tinkerer.
Yeah, that was.
If I don't know what I'm doing, I ain't getting in it. And
I don't blame you, Josh, especially when it comes to messing with electrical.
yes, I'll play around with like hardware and stuff like that, but when it comes to dealing with electrical, nope, I ain't touching it. Like,
Did you have to wire that dryer wire up yourself then?
that's a different story. It wasn't hooked up at the time I hooked it up. I'm not dealing with live electricity. I'm just hooking it up the way I think it's supposed to be hooking up and praying to God it doesn't burn the house down when I plug it up. But
You'd really like this, Josh. I bought a new radio from Jim the other day when I was down there. I was down there last week, and I picked up an antenna for someone up here in this area, so they didn't have to ship a big base antenna, and I brought it up for them. And I ended up buying a radio from Jim. And before I even hooked it up, I took it apart and modded it and put it back together.
One thing that I would love to do with both my 7100 in the truck and the 5100 that's sitting here, I'd love to do a Mars mod. And I've studied that.
That's one chip on the 5100.
Yeah, I've KO6DDG, Soul Studios, he has a tutorial on his channel of how to do it. Doesn't look too hard, but I'm afraid if I do it and I screw up, radio's kaboom. No more radio.
That I will say, Josh, make sure you got magnifiers. That is a small resistor for that Mars mod.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And I don't know if my soldering iron I've got, I don't know if it'd get hot enough to do what I need to do there.
Get you one of those Pensol soldering irons off Amazon. USB soldering iron. That's the best darn soldering iron. I've got one of the $120 Heichels, and that $30 Pensol off of Amazon is better.
Oh, yeah. Kenny says the only mod he's done to a radio was swapped the console lights on the dial over to LED instead of incandescent. I hear a lot of people do that. The only time I've had a light go out on a radio was my 229 Hotel that I used to have, the old ICOM, and I never fixed it. It's just because I opened it up and looked at it. Now, What I will tell you that I have done in the past, and I don't have one sitting here, I don't think, the HM56 EMCOMM mic, I've opened one of those up to adjust the potentiometer for the mic gain. That's the only way you can turn up the mic gain on those is opening them up. So that's not that hard. But when we're dealing with something that can kill me, no, I'm good.
Give us time, Josh. We'll get you tinkering. Won't necessarily get you building. I'll just get you tinkering.
I'm waiting on. Well, and when we had Crusader on a few weeks ago, all this talk about building those All-Star nodes, and I'm just like, ugh. That's something that I don't get into. These things that you have to do Linux or command prompt and stuff. Nope. That's over my pay grade. Give me something turnkey.
That's kind of
you
fun.
actually have somebody down in Murfreesboro that can help you with Linux.
Well, I could call up NA4WX and get that, but nah, I just avoid it.
You could always reach out to me too, Josh.
Oh yeah,
are you a bit of a Linux guy, Dave?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, well, maybe. I suppose. Well, we're both Mac users, but it's kind of on that same platform, and I've got a couple Linux things on the Mac OS I've been trying to figure out, and
that's what people drive me crazy about. Now we're getting into
every OS system is based on Unix. I don't care what anybody says.
That is exactly where I was getting ready to go with that. People harass me all the time when I say what I just said. Say, oh, well, that's Linux and Unix and Mac, and it's all the same. I'm like, hell no, it ain't. It don't look anything like. It's separate. It's a different operation as far as the end user goes.
But the back end is all built off the same platform.
It's all based on Unix. And yes, Windows and Mac OS, they gave you a front end GUI. Linux, most Linux flavors now, they're giving you some kind of desktop.
Right.
Yeah. Ubuntu.
Like Mint or whatever.
Mint, 73 Linux. Every one of them out there they've got a desktop. I personally don't run the desktop. If I'm running something that's running Linux, I'm not going to put a desktop on it. I do command line because I don't want the desktop taking up the resources.
Wow.
Fair enough. Bill, Greg K4HSM's in the house.
Yeah, hey, Greg, how you doing tonight, buddy?
Hey, Greg, I'm going to put the link for Discord. If you're available, come on and show everybody your box. Your box is pretty dang impressive. Where is it? Anyway.
Greg has a very nice box. When we did the thing at my local amateur radio club, Greg bought his box over there and showed it off too. But Greg did his box very smart. He put his stuff on the outside. His inverter, his charger, everything's mounted on the outside, and that's the way you want it. That way you don't have that extra heat in there. And
sorry. I realize what Bill Marvin's got it too. I told Greg, come on and show everybody his box, and he says it's not that kind of channel.
I saw that a minute ago. I just like, I'm not going to reply to that one. I'm not touching that. I'll let somebody else do that.
See, and you say we're not the clubhouse.
We're slowly moving over towards Clubhouse. We got a good crowd tonight, guys. So far, 22 has been pretty much where we've stayed all night. That's pretty good. Yeah. If you're not already subscribed here, guys, please subscribe. We're here generally every Thursday night, unless it's holiday or Jason's got something going on that we need to step aside for, something like that. Hit that subscribe button. Join us here. I do videos throughout the week. I've been lazy. No, I'm not lazy, but busy the last couple of weeks. So not a lot of content coming out, but please hit that subscribe button. I've got Marvin, who is...
Everybody hit that like button as well.
Yes, please do that. That helps the YouTube algorithm spread things out a little bit. Greg will be with us here in a few minutes, he says in the chat. Marvin is my co-host here. I've kind of made him my producer impromptu, I guess. But He put in the chat reminding folks we are still looking for any super chats. We need 5 super chats, and I will give away 5 channel memberships. So 5 super chats that are yellow or better, those are $10 or better, I will give away 5 channel memberships. And speaking of channel members,
Kelly, I was gonna say Kelly just joined it. He's from up here in my area.
Yeah, appreciate you joining us, Kelly. And because that's a monetary thing, you know what that means. Play the clip.
Money isn't everything. It's the only thing. And everyone has a price for the $1 Million Man. All right, let's.
You know, that just reminded me. Where's Jason tonight?
Oh,
Appreciate the new channel membership there, Kelly.
he got mad because he came in last night and none of us were there when he jumped into the stream. And we're all trying to figure out why he's getting in.
Well, I was kind of confused because T.O., that T.O., Tortoise, not temporary offline, T.O. was talking about going out there and joining or doing some mobile stuff, and I'm like, we're not on tonight. So I don't know where the confusion is, but we're on here Thursday nights, folks. Marvin is dropping some links to everybody you see here's channel, with the exception of Bill. Bill's got a big, he's got a good YouTube channel as well. It's KK4PAL Ham Radio Unleashed, and I think he's got a link.
Beamer would like folks to go over there and subscribe because he needs more begging strips and marshmallows.
Yep. Matter of fact, I'm going to drop the link. I found it right here. I'm going to drop it in there for you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'll add it.
Yeah, it's on the website. You can go over there, find the Facebook, YouTube, the whole 9 yards. But yeah, drop it in there if you don't mind, because Beamer sure would like some more begging strips and marshmallows. Every time we get a new subscriber on the channel, he gets not one, he gets 2 begging strips and a couple of marshmallows.
Nice.
So I look at it after night, and he might be a fat boy in the morning.
You know, the funny thing is, every time you say Beamer, you know who I think of?
Who do you think of?
Frank Beamer, the old coach of Virginia State, or Virginia Tech, I should say.
Well, he's named after Shane Beamer, Frank's son.
Okay. Now I know where this is going. Do I need to make Rocky Top a dang super chat sound?
Hey, listen, I have 2 favorite teams, South Carolina and whoever's playing Clemson.
There you go. There you go. Well, Clemson, if they keep it up, they're going to be looking for a new coach for long.
They're not going to put up with it very long, but that's my 2 favorite teams is South Carolina, whoever's playing Clemson. I mean, I'm all for every SEC team unless they're playing South Carolina. I mean, I've lived in Tennessee for over 20 years, so,
Well, just so long as you didn't get baptized by that stupid orange and blue, it's orange and blue down there in Florida.
Yeah, no. I lived in Florida for 10 years. I moved to Tennessee in 90, moved to Florida in 2011, moved back up here in 2013, moved back up here in 2013.
Yep.
I got the heck out of there. That's not a good place to live.
Get away from hurricanes. Speaking of hurricanes, guys, let me do a quick weather situation here. We've got a couple of tropical systems that are off of the southeast coast of the United States. We need to be watching out for those. And those of you that don't know, I do stream the Hurricane Watch Net when we have hurricane situations. So let me give y'all a quick look here. This is the National Hurricane Center map. You got post-tropical cyclone Gabrielle that's going to head out towards Spain. But you got Umberto, I think is how they pronounce that. That's probably going to curve out around Bermuda. Bermuda's right here where my mouse is. But this
looks like it's going to go right across the Bahamas.
Yep, this guy is scary where it's sitting. That is just north of, what is that, Haiti and Dominican Republic, which I have a friend of mine that's in the Dominican Republic right now on a cruise.
Oh, wow.
So that's quite scary. But It looks like this guy, when she forms, she will be, I forget, it's the I name. Esmeralda.
It's ring.
No, it's some foreign Spanish-like name, but that's going. And speaking of weather, Greg's in the house too. It looks like this could approach the South Carolina coast. So everybody that's in South Carolina and Georgia, East Coast of Florida, and North Carolina needs to be keeping an eye on this one as it develops in the next few days.
I'm glad you brought that up, Josh, because I hadn't checked it in the last couple of days. Because we've got a store in Abaco, and what was it, 2000 or 2020, 2019, when the hurricane hit there and wiped the island out, literally wiped out Abaco. So I'm gonna have to get with him tomorrow and see what he's hearing on the island.
Yeah, absolutely. Greg, we started talking weather and you joined us.
Yeah, pretty much. Hello, gentlemen. Hello, Bill. Hope everybody's doing good.
Good evening.
There's the box. The battery box that I put together. Actually, this is in reverse. I need to switch that camera to where it's not. See if that.
That's not reverse. That's showing up right for us.
No, that's all right.
Yeah.
Okay. That's weird because I'm seeing it in reverse on my screen. Okay. If you all see it fine, then I'll go with it. So, but the battery box, I got it off of Amazon, and this one here, it says, I'll try and zoom in, or can't zoom in, but box 01, that looks like it's out of production. But I think they've got like a 02 or 03, which is just a slightly bigger version than this. I got it off of Amazon for about $70. And it comes with a built-in voltmeter that controls the USB. It's got a 1 amp and a 2.1 amp USB. See right there. And it's got 2 car adapters on the side here. So there's 2 of those. So this switch actually controls all 3 of these. Then over here to the front, you have 2 terminals. You got your positive over there and you got your negative over there. And they are not connected to the power switch. So these are directly connected to the battery. They're always active. Let me switch this. Is that better? You can see it to the side now? I got it.
Much better. You're filling up the screen now.
All right. Sorry about that. So yeah, these are connected to the, excuse me, they're always connected to the battery. I've got the inverter actually plugged into them at this time. I'm going to eventually put them in on the battery, but I can take my 706. I got a Go kit, and I'll take the 706 and plug it directly into this with fuses, of course. Down here, got the commercial charger. Plug it into any AC outlet and do that. Also, thanks to Bill in part, I've got solar power poles. He taught me something new. The yellow is solar. I didn't know that was the case. The solar panels I bought, I actually use red and black. But I've got this now going into the battery box, and so let me pull this apart real quick. I demoed this at the Dandridge Hamfest a couple of weekends ago, and I was there for Skywarn. A lot of people were more interested in the battery box than they were in Skywarn. So, but the battery that I've got in here is a 50 amp hour eco-worthy. Got it off of Amazon. I think, Bill, you use them. And when I saw you, I've seen them online, and I was at one of the POTA Paloozas a year ago, and I saw you using it. I was still on the fence about it until I saw you using it, and I think it was you. You can correct me. But
yeah, that wasn't me. I don't have eco-worthy battery.
Okay.
But they are good batteries. They are good batteries.
Yeah.
I use red Odos.
Yeah. this here is the wrench for the thing. The thingamabobs, the technical term, thingamabobs.
Terminals.
I did, yeah. And the one thing we discussed was, that this was made out of metal. Let me get that up there. This was made out of metal, and so it could arc across. It's hard to do, but it actually could be done. So for the time being, I put electrical tape on the ends to help to prevent that. And I got it tied down with electrical tape, but I'm still looking for a better way to store this. I want to keep it in the box, so that I could probably. I'm thinking about it now. I could probably just
That's what I'd do. Is I'd put it in the foam.
Yeah, put it in the foam. I can get a soldering iron and just go in that way and do it that way. So
you probably just drill.
Sorry, what?
You probably just drill a hole too. That would probably work.
Yeah. Yeah, a drill or soldering iron, whatever. Something to get a slot in there. But yeah, yeah. And I've got ferrite cores on pretty much every single wire that you can imagine. Here's a look on the inside. You can see that the switch down here in the back. If I don't know if you can see that specifically, maybe a little dark, but the switch there controls these three: the USB here and the 2 car adapters. And here's the solar charger over here going straight to the battery. So with fuses, and the solar panels are downstairs. But the solar panels have a charge, a blocker to prevent it from overcharging the battery, or to keep the power from running back into the panels from the battery itself. Limiter. So. Pretty much this thing, the box and the battery were the 2 most expensive parts. The battery, a 50 amp hour, was about $110, I think. And this is about a year and a half ago on Amazon. I'm seeing 100 amp hour batteries for about the same price now. Like I said, the battery box is about 70, but I think this is discontinued. The updated versions are about the same price. So those are going to be your 2 most expensive parts. This inverter I got from Wally World for about 60 to 70 bucks. And the EcoWorthy I got, it's about 30, 35 bucks, something like that. So a lot of it came off of Amazon. Some of the stuff I got, like the adapter here for the solar, I purchased at a HamFest. I got this one here, a power pole panel mount. The 30 amp set, I got it I got it at the Dandridge HamFest. So, try to use the HamFest whenever possible. But used it at the Tennessee QSO party. We had it on plugged in for about 10 11 hours, and stayed pretty constant at 13.4 volts. So, did a pretty good job.
You didn't have the solar panels out, did you?
I'm sorry, what? The inverter is 750 watts.
Okay.
You didn't run solar panels at the QSO party, did you?
I had them on for a little while. Where the station was, the sun, it was like there's the building, then there was a couple of trees, and so I had to use a really long cord to get the panels out there, and then they were up for maybe an hour and a half, and then the sun went positioned behind the trees and down the hill. So it wasn't. They weren't doing much very long to keep the battery charged. But they did pretty good. Like I said, the battery box was constant pretty much the entire time.
That's great. Guys, I just put in the chat if anybody's got any questions about any of Bill's stuff or Greg's setup now that Greg's with us, feel free to drop in the chat and let us know. Greg, I'm glad you're here, and I'll talk to you a little bit more about this offline. But I know one of the big hot topics in radio the last week is this HOA business. You want to kind of tell everybody what's going on with that?
Well, the bill is in Congress, I'm not the expert. I'm just kind of being an activist on it. And there's a couple of reasons why I've been rather vocal about it. Number one, I'm not in an HOA. I would never do that to myself. But I have family members that are or were. I have friends who are or were. And the thing about Skywarn, is that it's not just a ham radio thing. It's a community service. And so we need more spotters. We need more people with eyes to be able to, to be able to see the skies and be able to tell when bad weather's approaching, not just to tell us, but, to tell their neighbors, to be aware themselves, be weather aware as always. And so I did what the ARRL did, is they have this one-click function where you go and you put in your call sign, then it tells you who your representatives are in Congress, and it sends off the letter. But I've been a proponent of being more vocal. I think that it's good what the ARRL is doing to promote and get people to be aware of this ruling. It's basically it's relaxing the restrictions on the homeowners association laws, the little micro oligarchies of community living communities, and the laws are supposed to be able to allow for not just ham radio operators, but for anybody with antennas, to be allowed to put them up for the purposes of emergency communications primarily. And so it relaxes a lot of these oppressive homeowner association restrictions. So I took the letter from that the ARRL put in, and I added some personal interest in it. I added some examples of how ham radio has helped and could help with someone who's in a homeowners association. We used the Gatlinburg wildfires from 2017. I think it was 2016, 2017. We used the Helene flooding from last year, almost a year ago to the day now that I think about it, and how if people are in homeowners associations and they're not allowed to put up antennas, they're not allowed to. They can't even put up. Some of these communities don't allow them to put them up in their own attics, or to use them. You can disguise one as a flagpole. They don't allow those. There's some that are really stealthy that you can put in trees. They don't allow these. They're some of them are just very, very restrictive. And so the letter that I wrote just basically implied that if these homeowners were able to have relatively accommodating permissions and could put up a tasteful setup, if you will, of an antenna setup that's not going to detract from the property values, which is what homeowners associations are pretty much geared for, then it would benefit the entire homeowners association. I think it would, because you could basically have your own emergency communications center. If a tornado takes out part of the homeowners association properties, if these little communities, or flooding like what happened with Helene, because some of these communities are alongside the banks of rivers, and we just found out this week that if it hadn't been for Douglas Dam, then Knoxville and Chattanooga would have been under 20 feet of water. Yeah. So so a lot of these homeowners associations are on lakefront properties, riverside properties, and the benefit of having a ham operator there with a decent setup is it could absolutely benefit the homeowners association, and there's ways that can be accommodated so that they don't interfere with the neighbors, they don't detract from the property values. So I personalized that information, and I sent these letters out physically. I sent out emails to two of my reps. The third one didn't have enough room for me to do that, but I copied and pasted it into the email off of my representatives' websites, and then I sent a physical copy. I sent it to Washington, and then I sent one to their satellite offices. I just want to make sure to blanket it and let them know that this is important. And I think if even a small percentage, even 1% of ham operators could do something like that, it would make I think it would make just as much of an impact as doing a one-click button that the AWRs got set up. I think it carries way more weight to the matter to send to tell them basically that you're taking time to do this, and to let them know that you're putting some thought into it and you're personalizing it with your experiences. So if everybody could do that, I think it would be a much more impactful statement to Congress to pass this, rather than just simply doing the one-click option.
Let me hit a couple of things here. Bob Stone in the chat says, I'm in an HOA. I'm trying to use my job as a building inspector as a push to get my HOA to let me put up antennas. That's a great idea. But as we were speaking about this, Greg, I just got the AWRL letter that was just issued today. And I do want to share it with everybody. I'm just going to read it here verbatim. AWRL needs every radio amateur in the United States to send letters to Washington as we continue our nationwide grassroots campaign to pass the Amateur Radio Emergency Preparedness Act, which is House Resolution 1094 and Senate Bill 459, to secure antenna rights. The process is simple. Click the button here, which I have dropped in the chat here, folks. Put in your call sign and then press the red Send My Letters button. It takes mere seconds. If you want to do it more effectively like Greg has, you can. The letter will automatically be sent to your elected officials, encouraging them to support the bipartisan bills. The legislation is intended to prevent restrictive homeowners associations rules that currently prohibit or severely limit the installation of amateur radio antennas. Passage would give amateur radio operators the same rights to install antennas on their property as those who have enjoyed by users of television antennas, wireless internets, and flagpoles. AWRL CEO David Minster, November Alpha 2 Alpha Alpha, was the guest on Ham Radio Crash Course YouTube channel. Shout out to Josh. Host Josh Nass, KI6NAZ, talked with Minster for 45 minutes about this important letter writing campaign. AWRL West Gulf Division Director John Robert Stratton, November 5 Alpha Uniform Sierra, shared insight into the importance of getting every ham to send a letter on the W5KUB amateur radio podcast table. So guys, we're writing our own story right here talking about this with Brent Glass, WY7BG, and Glenn Popeil, KW5GP. Those are available on YouTube, Podbean, and Facebook. Quote, you don't have to be a member, said Stratton. Quote, any amateur radio operator in or out of an HOA should go to the website. AWRL is also encouraging radio clubs to provide letters of support and is urging each club officer to sign the letters. So, folks, we need help on this. I know for many, many years this discussion has been going on, and we've tried to get this stuff passed. I think right now we have Congress's attention, and we need to capitalize on it to get this done. Thoughts, guys?
Another thing to consider, and this is something I admitted I did when I was composing the letters, is I got the assistance of ChatGPT. Now, I didn't use word for word. I didn't copy and paste ChatGPT because it I just don't believe in doing that. I don't need to plagiarize a computer, but it did help to. I use I use AI as part of my job, so it's something that I'm fully aware of what it can and cannot do. But also, it does help to clarify or to be more eloquent with your language. Writing, that's where I primarily get my assistance from it. So, doing something like that, I think, would be beneficial. And then you can take that, you can interject your own personal references and how it's affecting you, or directly or indirectly. And so, yeah, I can say that would help, but you can or cannot. And but I used it to better clarify some of my thoughts.
Yeah. Go ahead, Dave. You were going to say something.
I lost my train of thought.
Sorry.
All good. Let's hit the chat here. Bob Stone says, oh, wait. I've already got Bob. John says, I sent the ARRL letter via email to all three suspects. That's funny. I like that word. I also sent another letter where I pirated a few things from your letter, Greg. I sent via email as I don't think they would receive United States Postal Service, and that's a good point. Kenny the Dragon says, I live in a place where I'm allowed an in-fed half-wave wire antenna for 80 meters hung between a clothesline and attachment point in the house and a tree. Currently no transmitter for 80, but I can receive. Okay. Well, you've won half the battle.
Right? Yeah, no doubt. Just getting antenna up is usually the challenge with those HOAs. So,
yeah. And those of you, I know several of you know that we are on the house hunt, and we have found our new house. Now we're selling again. Yes, wash, rinse, repeat with my story, but I will tell you our new house is not in an HOA. John says in this area, the three suspects are Marsha Blackburn, Bill Haggerty, and Tim Burchett. That is 100% correct. You need to know who your congressman is as well, just to be safe, because they're different all across the country.
When you go to the when you go to the ARRL site for this, you put in your call sign. It's basing it off of your call book information, so you're going to see the representatives that are based out of your last known call book address. So be mindful of that, and especially if you've moved recently or are going to move. But and then I just took those three suspects, as they are now being called. I just Googled them and looked up their websites, and they have a Washington office, and then they have an office here in Tennessee. My representatives do. All three of them are like in the same building in Market Square in downtown Knoxville. So I just like I said, I sent 3 to Washington. And that's another thing, with security measures now, there could be a delay in getting those letters into their offices as they do security measures on everything now. I don't know about the satellite offices. I don't know how effective or how their security standards are, but at least it's going to be sent, and at least they're going to get a copy of something. So, and so I did it all 3 ways: the ARRL method, email, and handwriting letters. I'm thinking of doing Pony Express, but
smoke signal. You don't send them some CW while you're at
it. My smoke signals. I always misspell the words.
Well, I'm not sure that Pocahontas would respond to my emails if I sent one for her.
Oh wait, yeah, you got old Pocahontas up there representing you.
I do. Get on the air. I think everybody knows who I'm talking about at this point.
Yeah.
Well, and let's be clear about this, because I don't want to get overly political on this.
Political on here,
but
yes.
In fairness, the ARRL letter is calling this a bipartisan bill.
Okay.
So that's a positive sign.
That's a positive sign. Yes. So,
And I honestly think if the president had really had, I mean, I know the president's got bigger things to worry about than HOAs and antennas at this point, but I feel like if he was aware of the whole situation, he'd be all about this.
Yeah.
Funny thing, I mentioned earlier about using ChatGPT. So one thing I did was I ran it through an AI detector, and it told me, some of it was AI, some of it was not, and I tried my best. Then I actually got a response from one of my reps. I'm not going to say who, but I got it at 1:00 in the morning on the dot, and it was a very nice response on email. And then I ran it through the AI generator or detector, and it said it was 100% AI. So.
Yeah, I've seen that.
No doubt.
So just because
I got.
Yeah, just because they use AI exclusively doesn't mean you have to too. So.
John, I see you. I'm not going to post that, but I see you.
That's great. Oh, yes.
Lord have mercy.
I couldn't resist. Sorry.
I joined a little late. Bill, are you going to the POTA Palooza next weekend?
I would like to, but I have another commitment I have to be at next weekend.
That's Chattanooga Hamfest weekend.
Yeah, and I'm committed to
that is right. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
we
forgot
were there
about that,
last year, and they requested that myself and M&L Radio come back this year. So I'm going to leave out Friday morning, go down, set up. They're open on Friday. So if anybody wants to come down, freed up on Friday afternoon, come down and visit. It's open to the public on Friday, and we'll be there Saturday. And just come on down, say hello. I actually have made some new stickers, and if you come by and say you were on HamShackTV tonight, I'll give you a new sticker no matter what. We know how hams are over stickers.
It's funny you mention that because I've gotten creative lately. Now that when I do an HFQ or something like that, typically I mean maybe not so much on FT8, but especially on voice, I'll typically get a QSL card, and whenever they QSL me, I typically send them a sticker. And a lot of times that is one thing that's helping drive some growth of the channel because they'll QRZ me, and what's the first thing you see on there? HamShackTV. James is in the house here. KY4 truck. Nice call sign. Evening, y'all. Good to see you, James.
Well, I like the make that a sticker there, James.
That would be a great sticker.
It would be, yeah.
Maybe he needs to start a YouTube channel if he hasn't already.
All right.
Well, what else is there to talk about? I know we jumped topics. I didn't want to dive as deep as we did, but we had news coming in pretty quick on that.
Well, with more people jumping in, with more people jumping in, don't forget on the 145-230 repeater if you're in East Tennessee, and it's got a pretty good reach. On the 31st, the breakfast bunch from 6 a.m. to 8 a.m. is going to be giving away a battery box.
Yeah.
If you'd like to have a battery box and get it for free, there's your chance. All you got to do is check in. They're going to take all the check-ins, assign a number to them, use a random number generator, and whoever's got it wins the battery box. It's got a 20 amp hour battery, and it's got a 400 watt inverter with it. So you can get your battery box for free. You don't have to buy one from me.
Now, you did tell me that there's no EchoLink or All-Star for that, right?
No, there is no EchoLink or All-Star. I wish there was. This is a newer net. They've only been in existence for about 6 weeks. They're doing good with it. The Lunch Bunch in East Tennessee, which does have EchoLink and All-Star, and I mean, people from all over the world get in on it every day at lunchtime. They're actually an offshoot of it. All the net controllers know each other real well, which I know all the net controllers for both real well. And, they're trying to grow something. They were going to use a different repeater where they'd have it, and one of the net controllers for some reason, cannot get in that repeater. He cannot get in that repeater no matter what he does. And so they're on this repeater right now, but eventually they will be moving over to a repeater that does have Echo Link and everything on it.
And it does not have, well, I clicked too fast. It does not have DMR either, correct?
No, it does not have DMR.
Okay.
It's the 230 repeater, 145, 230. It doesn't even have a tone on it, you know.
Who owns that machine?
That is owned by, if you wouldn't ask me, I could have told you.
Not the way it goes.
Not
Yeah,
Kevin,
I hear him every morning when they thank the repeater owner. I hear it, Kevin Duplantis.
Really? And he doesn't have that linked in?
Nope, this repeater's not linked.
Why does he not link it? That doesn't make any sense.
I don't know.
Huh. Well, I hate that. He'll eventually get it linked up, especially if it gains traction.
That's part of what he's doing, is trying to get it to gain some traction.
Yeah. James says, I've thought about it, and then until I saw the costs associated with having stickers made. I also don't have an AI file for the image together. Okay, let me tell you something. I use Uprinting, and they're pretty affordable. And I can looky there.
as seen on HamShackTV.
Damn right.
Bill,
Anyway,
I got yours somewhere. I've got to find it. I'm going to stick it up here too. So.
I'm Greg. I got to send you mine then.
Yeah, send it to me.
I gotta get stickers made up.
It'll be like one of those luggage cases that's been all over the world.
Okay, so James, you printing is who I use. I got 1,000 stickers for like $60. They're not bad at all, and you don't necessarily need an AI file. You can, if you wanted to, you could send me Josh at aa4wx.com that logo, and I could make it into a file that they can use. That wouldn't be hard at all.
Yeah, no, I use Sticky Brand is who I use, and if you upload a picture on there of it, they will take and make it work for you.
Yeah, absolutely, they will.
This one I just sent, and if you look on the website, you'll see it as on one of the other pages. It's the icon at the top, the new one sticker is, and it's a little bit complicated. It's not the just plain Jane sticker. It's actually a little complicated, but they made me some great stickers. I'm really happy with them. And I went with square this time instead of round.
Yeah.
So since we're mentioning stickers, and we're going to bring this, I'm going to circle back to a battery box as well at the same time. But Greg, it looks backwards on here, but I've got your call sign on here. So there you go. That will go out to you. I want to bring back that battery box I had just a second ago. So
Thank you, sir.
I'm going to throw out a quick shout out to Ham Stuff Online. So if you have the Apache case, and if this is the, I told you earlier, the 2800, I think he's got him for the 38 and 5800 as well. He has a POTA sticker that matches this exact size that you can buy offline, either on his Etsy or his Ham Stuff Online store. And that will get this sticker right here on the front of that box. So if you guys were wondering how I got that earlier, Ham Stuff Online has these stickers that will fit that, and they fit exactly that size of box. So just make sure you get the right one for your size of box. But anyway, very cool stickers for these as well to put on your battery box, so you know it's for your POTA or whatever else. So if you're going to be building one in the future, the Apache case works out great for that, because they work just the perfect size. So,
yeah,
anyway.
and you can catch Ham Stuff. You can catch Ham Stuff online. Hang on a second, Bill. You can catch Ham Stuff online, typically at the bigger ham fest. So Florida,
Huntsville,
Dayton, that kind of thing.
He does a couple other small ones here and there too.
Yeah.
So
go ahead, Bill.
I'm going to pass on a tip. If you buy an Apache box to build a battery box, that's absolutely wonderful. But if you've taken off the stickers, you know how hard they are to get off. If you take a hair dryer, not a heat gun, but a hair dryer, and warm them up just a little bit, it will take the sticker and adhesive off every one on that box. So there's the tip that everybody's getting for free: how to get those stupid stickers off Apache boxes.
Well,
You know, that makes sense.
that's why this one's still sitting there.
Take the hair dryer and warm it up a little bit, and it'll peel right off and leave no glue residue or anything.
Now I know. There we go. That's perfect.
And folks, if you in the chat, if you're wondering, stickers are a big deal especially when it comes to the YouTuber community and ham radio. Some others have picked it up too, but if you're at your local ham fest or at Dayton, Huntsville, Orlando, any of those, and you see me, you see Jason, Ham Radio 2.0, Tectonics, MRD, the list, POTA Power, Bill, the list goes on and on and on. Typically, we've got a pocket full of stickers. You want a sticker, just tell us, and we'll give you one. And if you just come up and say, I watch your channel, I'm just going to hand you a sticker by default anyway. So
absolutely. Yeah, same here. Yeah, I got stickers all day long to hand out. So, and you'll find me probably at the big 3 this next year too, as well. So
I don't buy them to leave them in the 1 gallon storage bag in my truck. I buy them to give them out. So get one.
I need to work on my logo and get some stickers printed up.
Send me a anybody also that sends me a QSL card, I'll always QSL you back, and you'll probably get a sticker or 2 in the box or in the envelope.
I want to do that in the future QSL cards because but the problem is I'm getting a lot of email QSL cards nowadays. Not, I do get some hard ones, and I've got a lot of the New England ones, but I'm okay. We're going to quick QSL card moment at Clubhouse. But I got the 13 colonies, and I sent all of them out, and I've only got about half of them back. So I'm a little disappointed because I literally collect these from year to year for every year that I do them. And I'm kind of just shocked that I have not gotten some of those back yet this year. So I don't know if they're still delaying getting them back or what, but yeah, I've only got just about half. So it's a little sad there. So
I am a jerk, and I'm like most hams out there. I answer QSLs. I do not send QSLs unless it's something I want. And I know that's a sad ham thing to do. But folks, I will admit it. But folks, stamps are freaking expensive, and I'm not going to blow I'm not going to blow money on something I'm not going to get a return out of. It's dumb.
I can vouch for him being a jerk.
Well, very much. I mean, you deal with me on a daily basis. But I've probably got about maybe about 300 or 400 of these left. Once these are gone, I will be redesigning, and they will become HamShackTV cards. So that's to come.
Limited edition. Greg, I just realized I put 2 and 2 together, and when he said that just now, I realized who you are. You are the editor for TWIAR.
Yes. Well, I'm not the editor. I'm the webmaster.
Webmaster. Yeah. Sorry. Webmaster.
Yeah. So George is the editor, producer, anchor, and all around nut job that holds up that position
for
or that podcast. Yeah. It's in its, I don't know he talks about it being like the 23rd year, 24th year, 25th year, and all that, but there was a break in the action because it's been on since the mid 90s at the but there was a pause, a sabbatical due to other extenuating circumstances. But so yeah, there's that little bit. But yeah, I've been.
I'm one of the anchors, even though I have not anchored for him for probably a month and a half. I should reach out to him and say, "Hey, am I still with you?" Because he hasn't sent me anything in a long time.
He's slowed down on me, Marvin. I may anchor once a month now. I was doing it every other week, so I think he may just have an abundance.
Yeah, and he doesn't want to overburden people with doing it. So, yeah, absolutely reach out to him if you want to do some more news reads. I'm sure he'd love to have it. So.
That is, unless I pissed him off the last time I did it, because my intro was from the HamShackTV World Headquarters.
Nah.
He's told me, he said have fun with it, so that's what I'm doing.
Yeah.
I have some, I don't know if you've ever listened to some of mine that I've done, but I have a lot of fun with it, so yeah.
Well, see, I get to edit these before I put them out, so if I catch Josh doing that, I'll just censor him. So censorship.
Put some tone over me, 1,000 hertz tone.
Oh, that's funny.
Well, fellas, we're coming up on the top of the hour here, and we like to keep it at a couple of hours. So, yet again, we did not get to the trading post, but we had bigger things to deal with.
I want to say thank you to everybody who's stayed with us this evening. We've had a good number throughout the whole evening.
Yeah, I agree.
It's been really good. So thank you for joining us and keeping with us and being part of the program. And hope you've enjoyed it once again this week. So.
Shout out to Jason Blaylock in the chat. Beep. He has every right to do that. That is the camper RV repairman that is working. Guys, we didn't get any super. Sure. We didn't get any super chats yet, guys. Remember, super chats are all going to help this camper cause, and Jason can attest. I have spent a freaking fortune on fixing this thing. So if you want,
well, Jason says you got it for sale.
He just wants it out of his damn yard, I'm sure. In all seriousness, though, he's done some fantastic work.
Who's getting weather?
Who's got the severe?
Who is it?
No, that's my text alert on my phone. That's the only thing I can hear.
You can tell Skywarn.
So, Bill, I will tell you a funny story about this. Everybody here knows or should know I am a former broadcast director for WBIR here in Knoxville, the NBC affiliate. And I learned the Alcoa High School mascot is the Tornadoes. I learned very quickly. I was told I had I don't remember if it was the news director or the chief engineer came in. Somebody came in and told me. They said, be ready to dump out the live shot from Alcoa High School. I said, why? They said, if they come out or if they intro the team, you will hear EAS tones. And if those EAS tones come across our air, we are screwed. We can get, apparently, if you falsely broadcast EAS tones, you can get a massive fine from the FCC.
Oh, wow.
Yep.
So, I was on the
commercials. There was a commercial for a movie where they put those EAS tones on, and they had a hefty fine. So.
Yep, wow. My finger was on that dump button the whole time, ready to jump out. Luckily, it never happened.
They probably don't need to be doing that at the high school. They probably should stop doing that because they could get in trouble.
It's fun. I like the concept. It's an entertaining concept. But in fairness, can we just do a tornado siren? That'd be fine. I mean, you're getting the same point across. James says, I registered for a website. What a pain with all the personal information let out with the Who Is system. Not very happy about that. I'm the webmaster of the club's website. You don't have to release all that stuff on Who Is. There are typically, you can shield that stuff. It depends on your registrar, I think. Isn't that right, Greg?
Yeah, I go through GoDaddy for some of mine, and you can hide them, and I think it's part of the fee that you pay. So,
but I will also remind you having Kilo Yankee 4 Tango Romeo Kilo. That, well, I don't have to say it. But anyway, final thoughts, guys, before we wrap this up. Coming up on the top of the hour, we'll start with Marvin. You're on the top of the screen here.
Well, I have my personal channel, quick, Ham Radio Guy. I've got another podcast coming out on Friday here. I just released a video for my POTA activation finally. The editing of that video was horrendous. I think I had like 15 B-roll videos. I combined it into one that was 19 minutes long. So finally got that video done. I got a little time in my hands right now, so I'm able to get some of those things caught up and done. And, I can appreciate having that. And I actually got family coming out this weekend. So my parents are traveling for the first time in about 10 years to do a vacation. So they're coming out to see me for a week and a half. So that's going to be nice to be able to spend time with them and looking forward to that. And I actually got a POTA activation in coming back from Wisconsin this past week. I stopped at the Lake Erie 250th bicentennial in Rochester and got a 3-for park. And that was a lot of fun to go out and just work the 705 with a little 100-watt amplifier I've got And I love working that little radio. And I used a quick, the same antenna you'll see in the video for Alaska. And it was perfect. A quick 20 contacts in about 20 minutes. And it's all I needed. And so I appreciate those all reached out there. And I think if I'm looking at my dashboard real quick, one last thing is if you're not a subscriber to the Ham Radio Guy out here on YouTube, I did put a link in the chat earlier. I'm at 247, and I would love to see 300 before end of the year. I know that may not seem like a big goal, but for me to grow like I have this year, it's huge. So I'm at 247. Love to see that to 250, maybe by end of the night here if you haven't gone out and subscribed. And find out all the latest stuff that I do, and kind of like Josh, try and produce, a couple things here and there, and probably have another short video coming out tomorrow about some interesting change in a ham fest that happened as well. So anyway, please go ahead and subscribe to my channel as well, and subscribe to Josh if you're just joining him for the first time tonight. And thank you for all that have joined with us this evening. So over to you, Josh.
What a great stream tonight. Usually the numbers fluctuate, but frankly, we have hovered right around where we're at, and it's a pretty good number.
It is
this week. Again, last call for super chats. I'll leave that up for a little while. Let's go to Hillbilly Dave. What's going on with you?
Oh, not a whole bunch. Speaking of battery boxes, I've got a couple battery boxes that I'm working on. I got that Explorer from Gigaparts battery box, and I'm actually going to rebuild it completely. Then I got an antenna from, I don't know how well that's focusing because I've got a camera.
Yeah, it looks good.
I got an antenna from Amazon that I put together, and I'll be doing a video once I get the wires and stuff done. Hopefully this weekend I'll be able to get to it. It's a 9-to-1 on one side and a 49-to-1 on the other side.
Ooh.
For the price, it'd be good to pull it off Amazon and put it together and test and see if it actually works.
Fantastic. All right, Bill, over to you. And this is your chance. Tell everybody what's going on the channel. Tell everybody what you got coming up. Pitch your website and all your sales stuff and all that good stuff. The floor is yours.
All right, Josh, I appreciate you having me on tonight. Glad to do it. Glad to be here. And I'm going to tell you, Beamer needs more begging strips and marshmallows. We actually jumped up a few subscribers tonight, so Beamer's going to be real happy with his treats. But I kind of got the same goal that Marvin has. I'd like to get it up to 300 by the end of the year. Getting there. I've actually purchased equipment to use to make videos, and I now have a MacBook Air that was actually given to me that I put a new battery in at 4 o'clock this afternoon, and I'm using it tonight. But I've got a good way to edit videos now, so I'm going to start having some more quality videos. With the new mic system I got, I've got good sound. My camera does a great job. I don't have any problems with that. Now I've got a good way to edit them. I'll try to get a few more videos up. I don't put up a ton of videos, folks. I put up stuff that I think is interesting to me and you both. And then I've got the website, KK4PAL.com. If you go there, you can go to the Facebook, you can go to Instagram, you can go to the YouTube channel. All the links are there. Links for local stuff here in the East Tennessee area. If anybody's got anything they want me to put up there, just shoot me a message. We'll get it up on the front page of that website. I'm trying to make it kind of a one-stop shop for the local area for information. I've got my battery boxes up there. I've got a few other little things that I've got extra for sale that I pick up. Of course, you know Josh and Greg both. I go to these ham fests and I do a lot of stuff there, sell a lot of stuff, everything out there. And Josh, you know how particular I am. Everything that I take to a ham fest has been fully tested and it's working properly. If not, it's set out there for parts only, and I'm going to tell you exactly what's wrong with it. So I have a good time with it. I like meeting everybody. I've always got cards and stickers with me. So if you see me anywhere, just stop me and say, hey, I want a sticker. I saw you on HamShackTV. And we'll make sure you get one. But thank you again for bringing me in tonight, Josh.
Absolutely. And you just reminded me before I go to Greg, we need to remember next weekend is the Chattanooga Ham Fest. I'm going to make a quick appearance down there on Saturday morning. I don't have a whole lot of time because the boys' birthday. can you believe they're a year old already? The boys' birthday is that same day. So I'm going to make a quick in and out. But Chattanooga Hamfest coming up next weekend. I'm not on the right, here I am. They have moved locations this year. It's going to be at the Colonnade Civic Center, 264 Catoosa Circle in Ringgold, Georgia, right outside the Chattanooga city limits. This looks like a great facility compared to the one they were in last year. So we're excited to check that out. Show dates are Friday, October 3rd, Saturday, October 4th. I don't see any hours there, but I would imagine they're typical hours, banker hours.
Josh,
yeah.
Friday is going to start about noon.
Okay.
At 12 noon, it's going to go on later in the afternoon. I don't
noon
remember
to 6.
The exact time. Noon to 6. There you go.
Noon to 6. I caught that. I don't remember Saturday, but I do. I remember noon to 6 on Friday.
Right. And you see on here, it's 1 mile from exit 350, which is Georgia Highway 2, Battlefield Parkway, I-75 south, just south of Chattanooga. That's probably the first or second exit into Georgia, I would imagine, from Chattanooga.
Second exit.
Yeah, there you go. There's hotels, motels nearby. There's going to be some educational fun forums. North Georgia GMRS is going to be there, as well as Chattanooga Amateur Radio Club. Fast food and restaurants are nearby. There's indoor and outdoor vendor spaces and the outside flea market. There will be FCC VE testing, free event parking, free overnight vendor parking as well. And there is handicap access. So check them out next weekend, the Chattanooga Hamfest at the Colonnade Civic Center in Ringgold, Georgia. You can find more information about the Hamfest in Chattanooga at whiskey4alphamike.net. That's W4AM.net. All right, Greg, your turn.
Well, I'm not a professional content creator, but I did stay at a Holiday Inn one time. But I do have a few websites. They're all just, doing it for groups or doing it for fun. I have a blog, K4HSM.com. It's not been updated since like 2023, but I've got a few things I'm going to put on there here soon. The battery box is one of them, and another one's going to be my Go Kit. TWIAR.net, This Week in Amateur Radio. Twire.net. Would recommend you check that out. And the etskywarn.com, .net, .org. All three go to the same place. Had a slight bit of an update recently, so go there if you want to check that out. We'd greatly appreciate it. We got a Facebook group for ET Skywarn. ET Skywarn is the website, or the Facebook group. Twire TWIRI is the group for This Week in Amateur Radio. Check us out, and I'm going to try and do POTA this weekend. I'm going to be at North Dam State Park camping out in one of the cabins there, and so I'm going to be trying to operate POTA for the first time under my call sign, so be looking for me on the airwaves.
That sounds good. Oops.
And I highly recommend Bill for his battery boxes. I like my battery box, but I think the next one, I don't know if I'm going to build one. If I need a battery box, I know to go to Bill.
Absolutely. And as far as the East Tennessee Skywarn website, I think the only things that we don't own is .gov, .edu, and .tv. We should get .tv though. But anyway, all right, guys, we'll see.
Well, those domains are real expensive because .tv, you're actually going through Tuvalu, the country of Tuvalu, and they want like $100 to use their .tv domain. So. Well,
of course they do, because no one has ever heard of that country. I thought it was I thought it was specifically for television.
No, it's the island of Tuvalu, and I actually heard them one time on 10 meters back in the 90s. There was a station that was in Tuvalu. I never got to hear. They came in on 10 meters. They came in for like 30 seconds and then disappeared, and I've never heard them since.
Jason says Timbuktu.
Timbuktu.
It's an actual place, folks.
Yeah.
All All right, folks.
Take a buck or two.
I'll put you fellers back in the waiting room. If you want to hang out, we'll have a quick debrief. That's fine. Otherwise, we'll see you back here next week. Guys, I appreciate everybody joining tonight for this week's Trading Post and Roundtable. It's been a fun show. I mean, more fun than I expected, especially given, we didn't have all of our panelists as usual. We missed out on Andy. We saw Andy in the chat, so that was nice to see Andy. But we missed out on Jason. We missed out on Michael, Tortoise Overland. Go check out their channels too. Jason Lockwood has just started his channel up, so go check that one up. Don't forget all the links down in the description certainly help the channel. We appreciate all those guys that support the channel through affiliate partnerships and things like that. The camper fundraiser is still on. There's a GoFundMe available for that. You should see that in a previous video. So there's that. If you're watching this in post, you can do a super thanks instead of a super chat if you want to support the camper mission. Guys, I'm doing this for you. This isn't about me taking the family camping. This is about a safe way and a less expensive way for me to go to Orlando, Huntsville, Dayton, all these shows to bring you along with me. So, guys, thank you so much for your support. Thank you for your channel memberships. That's another way you can support the channel. Get a channel membership, guys. It's cheap and easy, as little as $2.99 a month. Thanks for watching, y'all. We'll see you next week. 73 AA4WX WSCB 693.
Money isn't everything. It's the only thing. And everyone has a price for the $1 million man. All right.
Thanks, everybody. Jason, that's for you. Even though you weren't here tonight. 73, everybody. We'll see you in the next one.